September can kiss our butts.
Fully. It's mostly my fault.
Takes a lot to take Kimbo's slice out.
Leave it to me. The only thing that could kick my ass is me.
It's been a lot over here. You know, life can just be life sometimes, but we're back. And here's the thing.
It's just too much.
Should we do it if everyone's doing it?
But they're going to have a hard time with the digital forensics. They're going to have a hard time with her too, because like any other witness who doesn't want to go to jail, her story changed a little bit. Not a lot. It's not going to be as open and shut as I think we'd like it to be. So it's going to get interesting.
Everything is open for judgment. It just turns into something that it shouldn't be. And it's really sad.
That's unfortunate that a victim has to sort of be humiliated, because I can only imagine that being humiliating.
Hey, did you miss us?
We're
back.
Well, we didn't really go anywhere.
We really didn't. Okay, so here's the thing. Here is the thing. September can kiss our butts.
Fully.
That's my mic, and I dropped it.
So we didn't really go anywhere. But like...
We were here.
September, week number 14, is going strong. And let me tell you, it's mostly my fault that we've been like missing. So here's the mea culpa. And here's why. September started with a nasty MS flare-up that took me out for a week. I'm a strong-willed person. It takes a lot.
It takes a lot to take Kimbo's slice out.
Leave it to me. The only thing that could kick my ass is me. And then as literally the next day, as soon as I was vertical, I got surprised, happily, but with bridesmaid duty for a wedding happening this month. Trying to sell my house. My stepdad died in June, and we just got his cremains, and we're trying to work with the VA to get his military out, blah, blah. That was not a close relationship. It was troubled, long story. And then unfortunately, someone very, very close to me who relies on me a lot has found themselves in the target of a criminal investigation and charges that, no, I'm not naive. And I know everyone says this, however, they absolutely are not guilty of. So says the 3 polygraphs from the fancy lawyer I can no longer afford. But the police have been dragging their ass all summer getting a warrant on an issue that started almost a year ago. Then I had to go do the bail thing. Now I'm trying to deal with the money pit that dried up, so I can't afford anything anymore. So between, life, wife, work, bonus mom, dog mom, lawyer, friend, bridesmaid, then add to that, there are 2 murder trials happening this month, one of which is personal for me. That was a very long, cold case that is heating up very quickly. And the other one we're going to talk about in a minute. They're also going to overlap, which is just incredible. So yeah, we've been busy.
Well, fellow crash dummies, it's been a lot over here. Life can just be life sometimes, but we're back. And here's the thing, right? The internet never stops talking about true crime because there is always someone doing something that they've got no business doing. That's the world we live in. Thank goodness for content creators like us who always have content. However...
Except for in September.
We know. Do you remember?
But thank you for everyone that has checked in and actually sent really nice, sweet comments. And I really appreciate that. That was very motivating for me. So I do appreciate it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have heard about... the case that has been referred to several times as the au pair case.
I like to say the au pair affair.
The au pair affair.
Another one in my backyard.
Happening in Kimberly's backyard.
I think Virginia's trying to make a run for Florida's reputation.
Hey, they can have it.
Yeah, I know.
You want the crown?
We're taking it.
Here, you can have it. So here's the thing, friends. This is a long-winded version of asking you to put in the comments if this is something you want us to follow, or are we just doing this story because it's happening?
And it's
Does that make sense? And it's there. It's happening, unfolding. It is interesting.
Ooh,
No shade to the content creators who are following this. It is interesting.
Red flags everywhere.
But we just want to make sure that we are following kind of what our followers are wanting us to follow.
Lots of following. But also, we've got all kinds of fun new stuff that we're going to do.
We can venture off and to do some other things.
We've got ideas and we're going to do them. But as far as cases go, we're not really the long form one we follow the whole thing, and that gets painful, and I think everyone feels that way. The Adelson stuff, I was tired of hearing it and I was following it to make content for it. It just sometimes you just need small bites. Sometimes you just want an update. There's a weird sound happening in the water closet next to my room, so we're gonna pretend it's not, because who knows what's in there. It's spooky month.
I didn't even hear it.
Oh,
but
great.
It's just me. The Adelson stuff, it's almost okay. And I am interested in that case. Joel has covered that thing up, down, sideways, and around. Joel is the master class of
all things Adelson.
And really all things in life. I've said it before, he's one of my besties. So getting back to what we were talking about.
Yes.
We want to talk about this new case in Fairfax that's going to start. Jury selection starts in a couple of weeks. So we're kind of going to give you some Too Long Didn't Read, the bones of the case.
Yes.
We're going to deliver that to you. This isn't going to be a super long podcast. However, please.
You never know.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
Sometimes we get long-winded. But we just want you to comment or subscribe if you want, if you like what we're doing. But also tell us I do actually want you guys to follow this and let's talk about it. Okay, cool. We're here for it.
Right.
But if you're let's just let that one go and find something else.
Yeah, because all of these cases are equally important. It's just sometimes it's just too much.
Should we do it if everyone's doing it, or should we find something that hasn't completely been uncovered yet, or should we do something fun?
Yeah. Anyways. There's a lot of cases of missing Indigenous people that I really want to get into. There's that really need attention, and even though we are hardly the biggest channel on the internet, there's a lot of things that we could be talking about, and there's some fun stuff that we will be talking about. But what do you want to hear? So just let us know.
So, without further ado, look, I just hit myself in the face.
Well, don't do that.
Without further ado, let's get into it.
Ba-doop boop. Okay. What is this case? Too Long Didn't Read. A wife and mother is killed, along with a relative stranger, actually, in her own home in Herndon, Virginia. Stone's throw from here. Allegedly at the hands of a very twisted scheme of her husband and the family au pair. So, February 2023, right here, well, not here because I'm in Prince William County, but right next door in Fairfax County, suburbs of DC, Christine and Brendan Banfield. She was a pediatric intensive care nurse, another trend I'm very scared about. He was, because he's not working now, an armed IRS agent. And if you don't know what that is, I'll tell you in a minute because it's interesting. And they have a 4-year-old daughter at the time. She's 7, almost 7 now, but they also had a cute Brazilian au pair, Juliana Megalese. And I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly. I have tried. I've even practiced. I'm sorry if I'm screwing that up. But basically, February 24th, 2023, the au pair calls 911 that Christine has been hurt. And then Brendan, the husband, takes the phone from her trying to describe the scene. There's also another dude there. His name is Joseph Ryan, by the way, who didn't deserve to be part of this. He's a total stranger. So let's talk about how we got here, right? So Brendan wanted what all of the red rumming husbands in the true crime world wanted, to be free and clear of dealing with having an ex-wife and all the crap that goes with it, because clearly divorce is too difficult. So he allegedly cooks up this plot with a nanny. I think she's 24-year-old.
Yeah, she's young.
Yeah, this 24-year-old woman from another country. Now, I am absolutely not absolving her of the crap that she's done here, but she's clearly vulnerable. She's in a country that she's not from. This is her employer. She's clearly entered into a relationship with him. Like, the keys to her staying in the U.S. are probably in his pocket. And now he's her secret boyfriend. And he says, I need to be rid of my wife. So the plan, get ready for this. The plan is using Christine's, the wife's, devices, her laptop, phone, to set up a fake account on FetLife, which is a social media platform for the spicy sexuals. If you're into that, more power to you. But these are like bona fide people that actually, there's rules, there's boundaries. It's very interesting. And this is not kink shaming whatsoever.
My understanding, I've never been on the app.
You haven't?
No. And I'm not one to kink shame. I don't yuck people's yums.
Not at all.
You do you.
Yeah.
But my understanding is it's for people who have very specific fetishes.
Yeah.
Kinks.
Yeah.
Can you say that on YouTube?
We did. We're gonna.
Continue.
Well, the plan was to lure this stranger to the home under the guise of some risque sex play that will go wrong, ending with a homicide. So what they do is they use her computer to set this up. They even had the nanny, like, you know how, I don't know if this is dating me. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. You know, sometimes on social media, when you didn't know if you're talking to a catfish, you'd like make them hold up a sign with your name on it or the date, like that kind of thing. They had her use her own voice on the phone to talk to this guy just to validate, like, yeah, I'm a real person. So this poor dude, Joseph Ryan, thinks he's talking to Christine and she wants some home invasion kind of rough and tumble situation. So they hide her cell phone in the kitchen, so it's still in the house, but she clearly won't be able to access it. They wait till she's taken a nap because, again, pediatric nurse in the ICU. And the nanny takes kiddo to the zoo. Brendan goes to work, which really means sit down the street at a McDonald's and lie in wait. The nanny forgets the lunches, goes home for them, and oh my goodness, there's a stranger in the house and he's hurting my employer, calls night. That was the plan, which is wild. But they also get this man to bring his own murder weapon because he brings a knife as part of the foreplay. I don't know. So this is already a digital nightmare and an evidence nightmare because he was smart enough to make it just muddy enough, like, well, all right. And that is part of the problem they're having now. I'll get to it. But yeah, so nanny calls 911. There's plenty of these videos online. The entire body cam is online. But essentially, this goes a little bit awry because in the months that follow, it seems like their plan has gone off without a hitch. This poor woman has been killed in her home by sexy time gone wrong with a stranger who they both shot, by the way. I mean, oof. They basically took out both. It's wild. When the police go back to the house for something, maybe it's more interviews, maybe it's more searching, they go to the master bedroom and they see, now this is the same bedroom this woman lost her life in and this poor guy. The nanny is in a big, like an 8x10 picture on the bedside table of the two of them, clearly on a vacation somewhere. Her lingerie is everywhere. She has moved right into the master bedroom. Her former bedroom is empty. Little kid is calling her mommy, which it happens with small kids. I'm not even going to go there. Basically, she just kind of swooped in and like, hey, we got away with it. I'm the woman of the house now. And then she gets charged. And it takes a while for him to get charged, but eventually he does too. But he gets charged with 4 counts of aggravated murder, 1 charge for use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and then several child endangerment / disregard of life charges because they plop kiddo down in the basement when they creep back to the house on this fateful day. So she was present in the home. So several charges. They consolidated all of them. His trial starts October 20th, but the best part is the au pair decides, oh my God, no. She starts cooperating. She is their star witness, and they have offered her tentatively time served with a lesser charge of manslaughter if she goes through with testifying at his trial and gives them credible, valuable evidence and does what she's supposed to do. She can be done and out as soon as his trial is done, and that's it.
And this happened in 2023.
Oh, man. That's it. That's where we're at. But there's some interesting things here to very quickly chat about. But yeah, that's the very, very high level.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about what they're offering her.
Yeah.
I mean, why? Because she clearly was a part of this whole plan. Do they really not think they could get him without her?
They can't. And that's a very good question. Let me tell you why. It's a digital nightmare because he was smart enough to use her devices. So the IP address, everything that's going to come back will ping back to her, not him. And that's muddy water, and a detective was reassigned from this case.
Right.
The long and short being, he may not have agreed with the conclusions that the prosecuting side of this came to. The defense side is making a lot of strides before his trial to bring that in as an issue, maybe an exculpatory issue. The forensics is where they're going to have the biggest trouble, and that apparently was a point of contention for his conclusions. This particular investigator did not agree with the conclusion they came to because it's really hard to prove who was using that device. God, Lindsay, this is mirroring real life for me right now. Who's using that device, and that it wasn't her that did it, because he was smart enough to do that. He was also smart enough not to have, the knife, which would have been the primary method that he had in mind for her. It wasn't his. Joseph Ryan, this poor dude, thought it was part of the ruse, brings it with him. And he is an armed IRS agent. Now, that is a very fancy IRS agent. They're financial investigators, but they are specialized in forensic technology, so they can recover financial data to investigate financial crimes. They're authorized to carry firearms on the job, and they get special training in building entry, non-lethal, defensive tactics, technical surveillance, and the use of the firearm. They can arrest, they can conduct search warrants, they can do undercover operations, they can provide dignitary protection, air marshal services. He was a fancy IRS agent.
One of our own is turning against us.
Right. He was smart enough to do some of these things to make it real difficult, but also stupid enough not to do certain things. Like, me, oh my, you went to work, but you got there lickety split because you were sitting in the McDonald's down the street. There's just a lot of stupid things that will get stupid stuff here that just really doesn't make a lot of sense. But they're going to have a hard time with the digital forensics. They're going to have a hard time with her too, because like any other witness who doesn't want to go to jail, her story changed a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Little details, like she thought she heard Christine having a good time when she got home, and then it turned to no, it was a struggling sound. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, but I think she'll still make enough of a credible witness to convince a jury, especially because she has no reason to admit this if she wasn't a part of it. This is, granted, people confess to things they haven't done all the time, but in a unique situation where you find yourself in a country whose laws you're probably not that familiar with, in a language you clearly don't speak. She's got a very thick accent. She was clearly still working on her English fluency. She's great for predators because she can be easily influenced, or she's vulnerable to the street smarts you need to survive in this country, even as a native born. And she's kind of, even if she didn't want to be with this dude, backed into a corner now that she started a relationship with him. He's holding the keys to her, her visa, probably. I imagine there's a lot that she had to think about before coming clean, but why would you come clean in a foreign country that's pretty, not in a politically law enforcement, we're in a weird place right now, especially with ICE. This is just, it's not going to be as open and shut as I think we'd like it to be. So it's going to get interesting.
Yeah, it's going to get interesting. I'm interested in the digital forensics. I'm interested in, and I mean this in a very general way, how her and the husband, how their relationship evolved into what it was.
Right.
So was it heavy on his side? Was it mutual? Kind of what that looked like? Because if I'm the juror, right, I'm like, was he kind of putting this girl in a corner?
Right.
You know?
And they can't hide that. So that's a really big plus. It's not like he can say some kind of, what was that Alicia Silverstone movie where she gets obsessed with the older guy next door? Oh my God, this is going to drive me nuts. It's not some fatal attraction thing where she made this relationship more than it was in her head. There's photographs. They were clearly together. Swim Fan's a good one. They clearly had a relationship, and that they don't have to prove motive, but it certainly looks really bad. So it's not like there's nothing on this guy that, as a character, it doesn't look great. So at least there's that. So that lends a little more credibility to, okay, well, maybe this is okay. Yeah. She may not be the most credible, or I don't know, but it's well established they had a relationship that didn't just happen overnight or as soon as she died, because this is months later. She's already living in the master bedroom. So I think they have enough that jurors will probably think, yeah, some shadiness was going on here. But the digital stuff, there's probably a digital paper trail from well before the murder happened showing their relationship. I would be willing to bet that there's also going to be some, well, how is Christine possibly on FetLife on her work computer? Because that's specifically what I heard. It was her work computer. If she's home, or maybe she doesn't have her computer at work with her, how do you know that she's in the same place as the computer? They can probably start cross-referencing schedules, geolocating her phone at those times. I'm sure it's going to be real interesting, but it's unfortunately not going to be simple.
Yeah. So, well, it starts bringing into like, where was she? Would she have had her phone? Kind of to your point, like cross-referencing and all the things. So that in a nutshell would be interesting to me. However, what do you guys think? You interested?
Yeah. I feel bad that they're probably going to have to get way deep into her past to build a foundation that this was not the type of thing she was into. And that's unfortunate that a victim has to sort of be humiliated, because I can only imagine that being humiliating. Like, hey, let's talk about all the people you shebangity banged with before, so they can tell us, no, she was very vanilla. Like, oh my God.
Well, that's the thing is, like, when you, unfortunately, like, if you are even on the receiving end of a crime, everything is open. Everything is open for judgment. Yeah. For all the things. You're not there to defend yourself, or you're not there to, it just turns into something that it shouldn't be, and it's really sad.
You know what bugs me is all the people on the internet, like, doesn't she just know? You don't hire a hot au pair. First of all, while I understand that, and trust me, I would never hire an attractive young au pair, because that's low-hanging fruit. And not that I don't love and trust my husband, but that's such a terrible cliche. The conclusion that we have to be responsible for ensuring that a grown-ass man that's committed to us doesn't do something stupid by not hiring an attractive au pair. How about you stop cheating on your wife with the au pair and have some self-control? I had an au pair for a year and a half growing up. Now, granted, she was not a Victoria's Secret model, and my mom made jokes about that all the time. But why is it on? Oh, that's driving me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's really unfair.
One more thing to add to the mental load. Can't have an attractive au pair, God forbid. Like, oh.
Well, yeah. and who knows, like, maybe he was the one that this was kind of his kink, right? Maybe. And he talked her into doing it. She didn't really want to, but okay. You know? So there's a lot of different circumstances, but
he didn't go to Home Depot to get a murder kit like everyone else did.
That we know of. But I mean, he didn't go down
that aisle. Yeah. This is like some new take on the hand that rocks the cradle. Like, holy but Jesus. So at least he didn't go to Home Depot, guys. And Joel from STS is going to come up, because he's down. Yeah, he's going to come up for some of this. So I'll link up with him. So you're going to hear some more of it, but in like bigger detail. What do you want? Do you want more of this?
Well, and according to Vinny, which he has said on our pod, this is going to be kind of a bigger case than a lot of people think.
Yeah. The judge did grant, not permission, I don't even know. Words are hard. I feel like I'm on training wheels again. Hello, podcast. The judge gave his blessing for this to be televised. So you can catch it somewhere, which I'm trying to figure out, either streaming or on television.
Yeah, I'm sure Court TV will have rights to that. They will be the pool cam.
Well, yeah, Vinny, if you go back to the first time we had Vinny on the show, I don't know if it was an outtake or if it was in the live recording, but he asked, are you guys going to go? And I was like, I might. And I think he may have mentioned that Court TV was going to be the pool camera. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. It's been a while.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So, again, friends, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
If you're a return customer of ours, thank you. If you're new, welcome. If you don't mind, please like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Put in the comment section if you want us to keep going with the au pair affair.
I'm going to put some pretty, just...
That's very soap opera-like.
It really needs its own graphic, guys. It just does.
It's screaming for one. Okay. Guys, we love you. Kimberly, can you show our friends out?
I don't want to because I've missed you guys so much, but you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Mwah. Please make good choices, and we'll see you next time. Bye.